How's it going, liquidation community? Colton Carlson here. Today's video topic is going to be about the struggles and stress points when it comes to owning and operating a bin store. I have been in the liquidation industry for several years now. I have done over 8 figures in revenue in the bin store model or the bin store industry. And the whole point of my YouTube channel is to provide you free value based on my experiences and also experiences that has been shared to me from other people in this industry. I want to give a shout out to my good friend Lindy Glenn, who had made a commentary video on a video that I made about bin stores last week, and she had given me a shout out. If you haven't seen her channel, she does a lot of content tailored around liquidation and bin stores, so make sure you go check her out. She's a good friend of mine and a lot of valuable content on her channel. So to dive right into the video topic about the struggles and stress points of running a bin store. Now, aside from a bin store just not being profitable, owning and operating a bin store is a lot of work, especially if you plan on actually working the bin store. I can tell you, when my first year in actually owning a bin store, a standalone bin store that was about 10,000 square foot, I wanted to absolutely rip my hair out. So I'm gonna dive into a lot of the big stress points that I dealt with my first year of owning a bin store. So I would say the biggest stress for me was cash flow and also inventory. Now, when I first started my bin store, I didn't have a lot of extra cash for inventory. So I could really only afford one or maybe two full truckloads of inventory at a time, aside from having money to pay all my bills, such as labor and rent and all of that. I didn't have a lot of free cash flow. So essentially, what I got caught in the loop of doing is having to rely on every week's sales to purchase my next truckload. So if I didn't have a good weekend in sales, let's say, I was really stressing, or I was really cutting it close on purchasing my next truckload. And the biggest stress also was if that truckload would show up or not. I remember losing sleep many days because I didn't know if my truckload was going to show up that week and if I would be able to open. And I remember there was one weekend where I had to close because the truckload didn't come in on time, and that was very stressful because I felt like I let all my customers down, and as well I lost an entire week of sales that week, which I couldn't afford. So that was a big stress. So if I could go back, I would have probably made sure I had an extra $20,000 or $30,000 in the bank, so I didn't have to worry about every week's sales in order to buy my next truckload. Because eventually, once I got to a point where I could afford 2 or 3 truckloads at a time, that stress started to go away, and I was able to stay open because I always had inventory if the truckload didn't come in that week. But this is a big problem that I think a lot of bin stores deal with, especially if you have a smaller bin store. Even if you have the cash flow to buy multiple truckloads, you might only have the space to fit one truckload, so that can be very difficult. And especially the freight delays. I remember in the winter time when it was really snowy, our first day was Saturday, and there would be a lot of times our truckload wouldn't come in until Friday. There was even one night, I remember our truckload came in at Friday at 2 a.m. and we had to open the store Saturday at 9 a.m. So I remember even letting some customers in the store and bribing them with some free product to help us fill our bins, and that was a very long day. There was a lot of long days the first year of the bin store. It is a lot of work. It is fun, it really is, but boy, it is stressful, and it is really easy to get burnt out after working the bin store for so long and owning one. So another big struggle that is inevitable is just going to be theft. So you're going to always get theft from customers, which is extremely frustrating. No matter how many security cameras you have, no matter how many employees you have, it always seems like people find a way to steal. Now, a big form of that is stuffing, where a customer will take 5 items and they put those 5 items into one box and they bring it up to the register, and you know how that goes. It's really frustrating, but it's always happens. It's just something that you have to deal with. It's just another added stress to owning a bin store. And on top of that, customers just destroy the product. I tried so hard. One problem I really tried so hard solving is the destruction of product. And no matter what you do, no matter how much you coach the customers, how much signage, there's always going to be a whole lot of trash, a whole lot of damaged product that you just have to eat at the end of the day, which is really unfortunate. Which, bringing into one of my last points, is the trash. So much trash. Cardboard especially. I remember when I had the large bin store, we were going through an entire roll-off of cardboard, or throwing away an entire roll-off dumpster of cardboard every single week. And just the trash and the bins every week, it takes a lot of time. If I had to pinpoint what the most stressful part of owning a standalone bin store, or a small one, is just the amount of time that you actually have to put in. Even if you get to a point where you are able to staff it, there's just so much work that goes into owning and operating a bin store that you're always going to be stuck doing a lot of work. Versus if you had a retail store, you don't have to worry about restocking the store every week, or all the trash, the damaged product, and all these issues like I've talked about. Now, I would say the best and maybe also the worst part of owning a bin store is you get a lot of really cool stuff. And if you're like me and you like shopping, then you like to keep a lot of that cool stuff. So I don't know if anybody else has ran into an issue like this, but I recently gotten some heat with my girlfriend because I have been in the middle of a move and unpacking, and come to find out I own about 40 sticks of deodorant and about 40 toothbrushes and like 50 tubes of toothpaste, okay? And again, it's just me. I don't have any children or anything like that, but in my mind, I'm going to use this stuff, but that's actually hoarding. So I'm starting to accept the fact that owning a bin store has made me a hoarder in a way. So that's something I am working on. I'm downsizing a lot of the accumulation of inventory that I have personally obtained. So, and it just took someone to kind of kick me in the ass to realize that I was actually a hoarder. But again, my name is Colton Carlson. If you found any value in this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be making a bunch of content tailored to liquidation, bin stores, retail stores, and just business in general. So thanks for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your evening.